guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Real Grade Gundam Mark II A.E.U.G version. I think I really like this Real Grade. It's definitely one of my favorite Real Grades. One thing right off the bat that I want to mention with mine that's kind of weird is that the head sometimes just automatically turns itself back to the middle. That's kind of annoying. Like, what if I wanted him to look there? He just won't. Same thing like that, right? If I want him to put his head there, sometimes he just moves his head back. He's got a mind of his own. But other than that, the articulation's really good. What's really cool about this one is that it has these fabric-y kind of, for the joints, kind of like wires, I guess, going in there. And they're kind of annoying to like put in because there's like a wire that you put these fabric things around and you have to shove them into certain places and then close the kit to make sure they stay in there. And then on the knees, maybe I didn't do it right, but there's a little bit of a gap there because I'm trying to squish in certain parts. But I mean, functionally, he's still really good. I can go through some of the articulation here. So obviously he's got full turning of the head, right? And that's as far up as you're gonna get looking up, looking down. And you got his arms that can rotate all the way around. So this shoulder piece is a little loose, I found. There we go. So that's about as far up as you're gonna get going up. And then he's even got that joint in there to make it a little bit more. Rotate all the way around. And then for the shoulder, you even have some of the movement there. Elbow in there. That ball joint at the wrist. Full splits. Leg going all the way back here. So let's gotta move this side skirt back. So I guess that's one thing maybe if you're trying to do the other splits, is that the side skirt's a little bit annoying in the back here. But I mean, I don't know when you would have your Gundam in this type of position. Alright, but this isn't two separate pieces. So I mean, that's probably not a deal breaker by any means, but then you got the knee joint. Classic Real Grade full bend at the knees there. And then you got the ankle. It's got some of that Real Grade stuff going on there. So like, what's weird is like, again, these wires you have at the back. Oh, whoops. So what's weird is you have these kind of wires at the back here too. I don't know if you can see that right in there. But you can't really see much going on. Yeah, it's cool, you got that Real Grade stuff going on there with the engineering. So you get to see some of it in there. But so when you're putting this together, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about that particular one. These ones you're going to see a lot. And you only have just enough to get in there. So I kind of ran out a little bit here. So I had to glue that in there a little bit. I used some super glue just to glue it in. One thing about the articulation is that the toe doesn't really do much. So if you want to bend his toe, there's not really much going on there. You can bend it this way, I guess, if he's flying or something, but the toe doesn't really go up much up there. I also think he's got really good waist. I forgot to mention his waist is really good there. Ab crunch. Why don't we just take a look at some of the accessories we got here. So we got your shield that extends, which is kind of cool, special to this kit. Extender shield. And then it hooks on with one of these, which I'm not really a huge fan of, to be honest with you. So if I put it on there, it kind of goes to the side there. Whereas, to be honest, I'd kind of rather have it like that way, but in line with his arm, but having it around there is also fine, I guess. And this is also a place where you can store the little ammos, the clips for his guns. And then you got your beam rifle that has one of these little side handles there. And again, you have the little ammo piece there. Then I built this a while ago, so I'm not sure if I'm missing some of the hands, but it definitely has these two fists, obviously. And then you got one of these open action hands for the left hand. And then you got this trigger hand. And then you have the classic real grade hands with the little joints in there. And so like aesthetically, like I really like all the decals and stuff, especially like on this kit, I would say you kind of have to put the decals on, in my opinion, if you're a decal person. Just because like I love this stuff. I love these little markings and stuff, and the little red and stuff like that. Even on this rocket launcher, they got some stuff, which is, you know, pretty standard for a real grade, but I still love it. And you got these little green see-through parts there. I really like that part. Again, the head thing is kind of annoying to me. Aesthetically, this is a real grade that really appealed to me. I've wanted to have this one for a really long time. So let's try to get him into some poses here. Or I can be throwing like a punch. Again, my gripes are the head. The second most annoying thing is I really don't understand this connector for the shield. Not a fan of this, because sometimes I just wanted to have it kind of just like that, but I can't because this peg doesn't let me, or it's more like this joint that it's attached to doesn't really let me do it, because it conflicts with the elbow there, because I think they want you to have more articulation in the shield, right? There's a ball joint there. So the only choice I have is to put it on this side like that, which is not a big deal. I mean, again, sometimes this thing comes off, but not the worst, not a deal breaker by any means. The gimmicks are really cool, like I said. Some of the joints are a little loose, I've noticed, as I'm playing with it. Is sometimes that arm drops, right, because it's a little too heavy. Sometimes it's okay, right, staying there, but when it's around there, that joint's a little weak. So, I mean, I've had this kit for a while, so maybe that's just wear and tear, but I haven't really played with it much. I just kind of pose my kits and leave them there. Same thing with this joint. For the shield, it's kind of weak. And loose, right? So again, that's why I'm not really a big fan of that. And then the waist, you can't really turn much on the waist there. Whereas other kits you can turn all the way around, but this is very small degree. But aside from that, I know that sounds like a lot of bad things going on there, but I think the kit looks really good if you can just get into a pose or two that you like. You should definitely go for this kit. I mean, just because I like the kit specifically, like particular to my taste, I'd give it like an 8. But I know for some people, based on some of those issues, they'd give it maybe like a 7 or so, maybe like a strong 6. But again, aesthetically, I really like the way this looks, especially with the decals and stuff on it. So if you're thinking about getting the kit, I really think you should still grab it. I don't think you'll be too disappointed, especially if you like the design. You just get into, if you're like me and you just get your Gundams in like a pose and pose them there, this one will be fine for that. You just get them in a pose, cool pose, leave them there, and it'll look good in your case. So that about does it for the review, guys. This review is sponsored by Show Me What You Bought. I'll put a link down in the description. Go check out Show Me What You Bought. His website is ibuildrobots.ca for all your Gundam needs. And I'll see you guys next time.